Don't you think it's a crime? Oh, yeah, we're back. Here we go. In the bottle. Little bit of in the bottle here. You know, it always reminds me, in the bottle reminds me of growing up in Detroit, growing up in the middle of the revolution. And Gil Scott Heron saying the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. And he goes off into his thing. I loved it. In fact, Gil Scott, you had, what was his name? Baraka. He changed it to Baraka. What was his name? Anyway, we had poets. We had the last poets. You know, we were rocking and rolling, man. We were proud people, proud of our journey here in America. These morons today, don't have a clue about pride, values, history, nothing. They're just stupid. Just stupid. Hey, look, I just wanted to. In fact, there's a clip out that says, is Kamala Harris, how does she call herself an African American? Well, see, I know she's not a Black American or an African American. She could claim that she's Jamaican American. She could certainly claim that. Or that she's an Asian American or an Indian American. She could claim that. But an African American, no, Camilla, I'm sorry. But you're a good looking sister. She's a good looking sister. As Barack Obama once said, she's the prettiest attorney general in the United States. That's what he said. Nobody called him, said he was out of line. Oh my God, he's misogynistic. Oh my God, he's chauvinistic. Rock was very clear. He said, hey, she's the best looking attorney general in the country. He did. He said that. So look, let's rock and roll here. So Trump visits Kenosha yesterday. He visits Kenosha, Wisconsin, and as he visits Kenosha, he's doing his tour, and people are telling him how happy they are he's there, and all that good stuff. And he's surveying the damage, and people are trying to get paid. They're trying to get, their businesses restored, because, a lot of the insurance companies said that these are disasters that they can't pay for. These, they're trying to equate some of these disasters to war. And whether you know it or not, when you check your insurance policies and your homeowners policies, one of the things they talk about is whether or not it was an act of war that you were in, whether or not you're covered. Something to think about, something to know about. So a lot of these insurance companies are trying to buy out, saying, hey, this riot it's really a war. It's terrorist against the citizens. These things aren't natural, burning down cities, civic unrest. And the government should pay you, not the insurance company. So those are battles that are being fought that no one's really talking about. So the president's there, listening to citizens talk about how they've been burned out, how they've lost everything that they saved for, that they sacrificed their homes for, that they put second mortgages on their homes to open a business, to pursue their dreams. And these things were taken away in the middle of the night by some people talking about Black Lives Matter who are walking all over Black folks, who are burning down homes, churches, service stores that service who? Black people. And these people don't even live in the city. The interesting thing that one of the interesting stats that I saw was when the Minnesota mayor and police chief said that 90% of the people they arrested were from out of town. Kenosha, when they arrested the protesters, started arresting protesters, they were from Palisades, California. Now, Palisades, California is kind of like La Jolla in Southern California, in San Diego. It's like La Jolla, very upscale community. Or let's see, it would be like Beverly Hills in LA or Palisades. Palisades is like the Upper East Side in New York. Very wealthy people. So these kids are coming from those towns. They're coming from Seattle. They're coming from um, uh, Minneapolis. They're coming from all of these cities that they don't belong to. It's not the Kenosha people who are rioting. These are out of towners. Over 70% of people who are being arrested are out of towners. What does that tell you? It tells you, one, they're organized. Two, someone's funding them. How do you fly from LAX to Milwaukee on a couple of days' notice? Because, at the end of the day, regular ticket prices are applying. If you try to fly on a plane tomorrow, you're going to pay $300-400. Okay. And these protesters are getting here, setting up houses. In fact, I was looking at a raid that the police had conducted up in Seattle, and they found makeshift shields and spike bars and all kinds of very dangerous weapons. They could be called nothing but weapons of war. And they're going to talk to me about an AR-15. Really? These young anarchists are out of control. And, the interesting thing about it is they're trying to tell Black people what they need to do and how they need to act, and that they need to stand up and revolt. I tell you, man. Amazing. So I'm sitting here dealing with this, right? And I'm thinking to myself, where's the NAACP? I don't even know who the president of NAACP is anymore. They've kind of fallen off the map with the money. See, they're fat cats now. They're getting that corporate funding. So they can't go after employer discrimination cases. Let's see, who else? Urban League. Where are they? Mark Morial. Nowhere to be found in this discussion. National Action Network. Webb Shopton. Where's Webb Shopton? I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Police out here shooting Black people. Well, the police are shooting Black people who happen to be involved in criminal activities. And when I talk about these criminal activities, well, you look at Jason Blake. First, the media puts out that he was breaking up a fight between two women. Nothing could have been further from the truth. He went to this woman's house who she claimed he'd raped her and taken her keys to her car. He takes the keys to the car and this had happened a couple of weeks ago, a week earlier, I think, that she claimed he raped her. She filled out she swore out a complaint, and they put a warrant out on him and told him, not to show up at the house. He couldn't come to the house. Well, he comes to the house. This woman's terrified. She calls 911. The police come to the rescue of the woman who Jason Blake is harassing, who he's terrorizing. And he has his 3 boys with him, teaching them how to handle women, I guess. Son, this is how you handle a woman. This is how you pull up a dress, and you pull her panties down and you take what you want. Rapists, man. So the police show up on scene. Blake decides it's time to do a exit stage right. And he's trying to walk into the car. But from what I understand, what I've read so far, the Jeep wasn't even his, the gray Jeep. It belonged to the woman who had called the police on him. So he gets in a fight on the passenger side of the vehicle. He beats 3 cops up. They taser him twice. No effect. So the one cop is running behind him like a little girl, holding his shirt with his gun waving in the air. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you need to tackle this guy. You need to shoot this guy. You need to do something. But you just can't run holding his shirt like this. And Jason was just walking, man. He wasn't, slowing down. He was like, I'm getting in this car and I'm getting the hell out of here before they take me to jail. So when he opened the door and reached in the car, I guess the cop said, I don't know if he's going to turn around with a gun. I don't know if he's going to turn around with a knife, but I know one thing. He hasn't complied, and I'm getting scared. I think this cop had a legitimate right to shoot Jason. No question. He wouldn't follow orders. He would not comply with instructions to stop. And when he did, he beat the cops up, took 2 tasers, kept going. Boom. So was he on high on drugs? Who knows? Didn't make any difference. He didn't obey the police. So he gets shot 7 times in the back. And he said, dang, he woke up. He said, dang, Dad, why'd they have to shoot me so many times? Well, he expected to get shot, obviously. But he said so many times. See, if the cop had been trying to kill him, he would have shot him in the head. 2 in the body, 1 in the head. If he'd been trying to kill him, he wasn't. So now this man is paralyzed from the waist down, and he wants the state, I'm sure, to take care of him for the rest of his life because he is in the midst of a bad act, criminal activity, going against the orders from the police and the courts to leave this woman alone. Amazing. And people are running around talking about Jason Blake. I heard his dumbass brother on TV talking about President Trump visiting the family. He's like, we don't want the president here because of what he said, his racist remarks. Well, the question is, you haven't heard Donald Trump say anything that's racist, but you've certainly heard Joe Biden say things that were racist, like they're going to put you all back in chains. Oh, boy. Hey, look, I opened up the lines. The lines are open at 215-867-8255. The lines are open. And I'm looking at the little dealie we got going on over here. So, but if you want to hear stupid, if you want to hear discombobulated, let's have a little fun. Let's play, Is Kamala Harris Really Black? Now, a gentleman went out and he did this recording. Check this out. Here we go. Is Kamala Harris? We're going to find this out for ourselves. It's going to be funny. Funny. I thought it was hilarious. I just saw it a few minutes before we went on the air. So here we go. Let's go.
Why is Kamala Harris claiming that she's African American? Okay, quick question, right quick. What makes Kamala Harris African American?
Nothing African at all.
Her name? Her name and what else? The way she acts. What about her hair? Oh, that's her name and her hair. Her hair.
Her skin color, for one.
Black. Her skin color don't make her black. That makes her African American. Her skin color.
That doesn't make her African American, but her dad and her mom, isn't one of them.
Her daddy is Jamaican and her mother is Indian.
Well, that's where the blackness come in at, from the Jamaican line.
It's not African American, right?
No, well, I wouldn't say that. As you know, in America, if your skin is black or light skin and nappy hair, the society considers you black. Whether you, whether you say that you're something else or not, but if your skin is black, that's all that matters to them.
I Kamala Harris, that's the politician, right? That's the lady running for vice president. What makes her African American? I don't know. She don't act like it. She showing the hell don't act like it, but they saying she a black woman. She a woman of color. What makes her African American? I couldn't even tell you. Ain't you black if your daddy black? No, her daddy is Jamaican black. That's black? That's not African American black. African American. It's not African American, but it's black. It's black, but not black. It ain't like us, like African American. It's black though.
Hey, you can't make this up. This brother's in LA interviewing people. And they going, well, her hair would make her black, and her name would make her black, and her skin color. So is Vijay Singh a Fiji Islander? Is he African American? Does he qualify for reparations? Is he a descendant of a slave? The answer is hell no. The answer is black people are the dumbest group of people on earth. And it's getting worse. Like I told you about the security guy that kicked me out of the store for using what he considered Nigger instead of Nigga. I'm still dealing with that, believe me. I'm going to show him that he has no store, first of all. That store doesn't belong to him. It's a retail store. And he's just a guard there. So, long story short, Kamala Harris, is she black? The answer is hell no. Her mother's from Asia. She's a woman of color. You know, I hate that of color bullshit. I hate it totally because, you know, the Hispanics can claim of color. Española, the Spanish, the Portuguese, they can claim, you know, we are people of color. And they do. I mean, you ever see those Spaniards and those Portuguese? Man, they get just as dark as brothers and sisters, man. When they get that sun, I'm telling you, they blacken right up. Down in Mexico, too, where the descendants of Spanish stayed there. You know, I always hear my Mexican friends say, I'm Spanish. And I go, you're not from Spain. Well, I speak Spanish, so I'm Spanish. I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. We were growing up, we're kids, right? And, you know, we're talking about a working class community here. And I'm thinking, wait, something's wrong with this picture. I'm Spanish. No, you Mexican. You know, no, I'm Spanish. Did your parents come from Spain? No. Well, they're Mexican. And you Mexican. And you're Indian. You're not Chaldean or Catalan. You're Catalanian. You're a Basque. You know, you're an Indian. Oh man, I used to get it at the throats of some of these guys, especially a guy named Robert Chapa, who I couldn't stand his ass. If I see him now, I might spit on him. But and that's 50 years later. But how can I say this? So is Kamala Harris black? That's what these people are asking. Is she black? Well, yeah, she's black. Her name. Well, she doesn't act black. Well, what's acting black? I think she acts black. You know, she's intelligent. She's articulate. She's fine as hell. Especially when she was younger, when she was dating Willie Brown. She was, oof. Lord, I saw her in those days. She was a killer. She was definitely a killer. But look, we're going to continue to have a little lightness here and play Kamala Harris, whether or not she's black.
She African American? No. So she is black? She's black. Okay, there we go. Kamala Harris is black, not African American. If you can name the 3 senators in the Senate right now, the 3 black senators in the Senate, I'll buy you. If you can tell me what Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize for, I'll give you. Huh? Hold on. If anybody can tell me what Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize for, I'll buy you one. Y'all can? No, you can't Google it. It's too late. It's too late, brother. You can't Google it.
You can Google it.
If somebody can tell me what's one of Barack Obama's parents' name, I'll give you one of these. One of Barack Obama's parents' name, I'll buy you. Also, nobody know to tell us what makes
This guy, I just thought that was hilarious. And nobody could tell him what one of Barack Obama's name was. His daddy was named Barack Obama. He was a Muslim bigamist. He was married to a woman in Ghana, and he married Barack's mother. Hello, what is a 19-year-old woman doing going to bed with a 30-year-old man, African at that? I think his mama was a freak myself. Yeah, Barack, I called your mama a freak. That's what she was. 19 years old, going to bed with a 30-year-old African. I mean, really? Woof. President Trump, well, he fired him up yesterday. He tickled me when he went into Notion. He just said, hey, I'm here. I'm going to survey the damage. I'm going to help the people who want to be helped. And those of you who don't, fine. So Blake's family, Jacob Blake's family says, well, we're not going to meet with the president unless we can have our lawyers present. He said, hey, I just want to, meet, get my, express my apologies or acknowledge that your son's been shot and we're trying to resolve these issues. Well, their son is a habitual criminal. Hello. Why are black people praising these criminals? Now, George Floyd. Was George Floyd committing a criminal act? Had he passed a $20 bill? We still don't know. What happened to the bill? What happened to this fake bill that George was supposed to be passing? Or did the man just call the cops because George was big and black? Who knows? Nobody's pursuing that story. But it is a story because that's what started the whole thing. So, but, this is the other side of it. The cop who choked George out, they worked together as bouncers in a strip club. So is the guy mad because George pulled out his big Johnson, was stroking some girls that he wanted to stroke? Because, George was a big guy. And I'm sure he was having his way with those strippers. So they love them some George because, he's one of those big guys that, the girls could cuddle up with and trust. The little guy who choked him out, he was, he's just hanging in. He was an accessory. So anyway, he choked George out, choked him out. They said, well, the fentanyl killed him. It wasn't the knee on the neck. Well, I don't think fentanyl stops your heart. I don't think fentanyl closes your airways. And I always tell people who claim that, these, your breath can't be taken. I always tell them, lay on your stomach, put your hands behind your back, and have somebody stand in the middle of your back and see what happens. You get a new appreciation for being able to breathe. The guy down in Atlanta, I was thinking about this the other day. We were talking about this the other day. The guy in Atlanta, he was an interesting case. The guy who was supposed to be drunk, fell asleep at the wheel. Cops came, My thing is, why didn't somebody go out there and wake the guy up and tell him to pull over out of the lane and sleep like he did? He pulled over when the cops came. He pulled over and got out of the car and they talked for 40 minutes, man. This man stood up and talked to them lucidly, intelligently for 40 minutes, and they tried to arrest him. Why? Because they wanted to go in the police station and effect an arrest and get off the streets and kick it. They talked to this man for 40 minutes. Let's deal with this. You stand and talk to someone for 40 minutes, lucidly, intelligently. Would you think that person were drunk? This guy wasn't slurring his words. I mean, you can see from the video, he's very energetic. You know, he had a little nap. You know, he's cool. He said, hey, you know, just let me go to my girl's house. And, you know, she's right up the road. No, they wouldn't do that. Cops were assholes. They wanted to go in, book this black man, put him in the system. See, what the underlying issue with all of this policing is putting black men in the criminal justice system. They've tried to put me in the system numerous times. Own bullshit. So, in Atlanta, the cops try to arrest this man, try to effect an arrest. They get in a fight. He beats both of them. One, he leaves with a concussion, but he never really threw punches. He was just getting away. They weren't throwing down. He just, you know, just got away. And so as he's running down the driveway, he's outrunning the cop. And these cops need to get in the gym. They're seriously out of shape. They have no muscle tone. They have no forearm. I mean, you look at my forearm. I'm 70 years old, man. Look at my forearm. I mean, I'm 70 years old. I still got muscle tone. I haven't worked out in 6 months, man. I still got muscle tone. I'm getting ready to start working out again. You know, I'm ready. So the man is running down the driveway. The cop, he turns around with a taser that's obviously had been discharged. Looks at the cop. He probably says something like, "See ya." And the cop stops, throws down his taser in you know, frustration that he can't catch this guy, pulls out his service revolver, bam, bam, shoots the guy. He doesn't go get in the squad car and try to chase the guy down. He shoots the guy. He's got a problem. Bad shoot. As far as I'm concerned, bad. The other bad shooting, and one that, you know, really is close to home for me, was in North Charleston, South Carolina, when the black man had just bought a little Mercedes. He was all happy and driving along, and the cop pulled him over and said, "Hey, man, your tail light's out." He said, "What? I didn't know, officer. I just bought the car. You know, just here's my papers." You know, gave the guy the papers. The guy went back. He ran the tags. And for whatever reason, the black man took off running. Little guy takes off running. The cop didn't yell. He didn't scream. He wasn't animated. He just coolly and slowly pulled out his gun and shot the guy in the back. That's what he did. Shot the guy right in the back. Didn't hesitate. And then walked up and planted a gun on him. He got 7 years. I think he should have gotten a lot more myself. But, you know, got 7 years. Anyway, the police released a video here in Chicago of some looting going on. Some looting going on in the city's west side back in May. People are going to go to jail. Dozens of people swarmed inside a West Chicago Avenue business, which sold electronics and other items. And this happened in the afternoon, like 1:45. They said many were captured, taking whatever merchandise they could find over a 25-minute period. At least one person violently kicked and shattered a protective covering under a counter that housed additional items. Ooh. Oh, well. Amazing. Amazing. And they've ID'd these people. They're using facial recognition software to identify these folks. Now, another thing that tickles me is this whole criminal justice reform thing, because we have some very bad actors out here. One man, a grandfather, decided to take his grandson in. His grandson had gotten out of prison. Mom and dad wouldn't let him live with them. So the grandparents took him in. He killed them. He cut them up. He bludgeoned them to death. It's really sad. This man was getting ready to retire. He'd worked as a CTA bus driver for 20 years. And he and his wife expected to, go do a little traveling and hanging out together. And their grandson kills them in a most heinous manner. It's in the paper today. In fact, I may put it up on my website. It's horrible, though. But you can go to CBS Local, Chicago Local, cbslocal.com, and you'll see it. It's bad, man. CBS 2. Anyway, what society has come to. But see, that's what happens when you take God out of the equation, when you take God out of public life, when you take God out of public discourse. You replace it with what? Anarchy. You replace it with what? Satanism. You replace it with what? Hedonism. You replace it with what? Marxism, socialism. All of these ism replaces God. And I'm not going to get on the sermon today. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to jump on the sermon. But I can tell you this. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And what's going on in America today, especially in terms of Black Lives Matter and all that nonsense, is nonsense. People need to do their homework. NBA players striking because of Jacob Blake. Do your homework, man. Do your homework. Strike about something important. Strike to defend this young man, Rosman, who was helping protesters and bandaging protesters. And then they turned on him and tried to take his gun. With a gun. Guy had a Glock pointed at him, and the young man shot him. He's going to get off with self-defense, you watch. Because he was acting in self-defense. He wasn't the aggressor. Man, it's the world we live in. But that's the world that was set up by Democrats. I used to talk about it all the time, how Democrats always held law-abiding citizens in abeyance while the criminal element ran amok. Trump talks about that a little bit. Let's play this, see what Mr. Trump's talking about.
One of the reasons I'm making the trip today and going to Wisconsin is we've had such a big success in shutting down what would be right now a city that would have been Kenosha, a city that would have been burnt to the ground by now. And we're going to really say hello to law enforcement and the National Guard. And it all stopped immediately upon the National Guard's arrival. So, be easy to stop. I saw last night where these radical anarchists were trying to get into the mayor's house, and lots of bad things were happening to this poor, foolish, very stupid mayor. I mean, how he could be mayor, I have no idea. But all he has to do is call, and within 10 minutes, their problem will be over. Only a fool would stick up for him like that. These are anarchists. These are agitators. They're rioters, they're looters, they're bad people. They're burning down Portland. And you take a look at that. You take a look at the scenes last night. And then the fake news media will say that they're friendly protesters. Because you people, I'll tell you, if we only had an honest press in this country, it would be much more advanced. But we have a very dishonest press.
What about racial divisions? Would you like to bridge some of those gaps? And do you think that anything that you're saying is helping with that?
I think it's helping because I'm about law and order. And if you look at the black community, they want the police to help them stop crime. The Hispanic community, they want police. 82%, 84%, numbers that you haven't even seen. They don't want crime. They don't want to be mugged. They don't want to have any problems. I also saw the way they shot the young gentleman in the street. He was targeted. They targeted him. They shot him in the street, and then they were so happy, and he died. You don't mention that. You mentioned somebody sprayed paint at somebody from the other side. They shot a man in the street. They executed a man in the street. A religious man.
Man shot in the street.
In the street. And you don't mention, it's not even a story. You talk about other things. The press should be ashamed of themselves. I think the press is actually, the media is what's fueling this, more so than even Biden. Because Biden doesn't know he's alive.
As the president said that a man was shot by rioters and no one's covering the story. The president said that a man was shot by rioters and no one's covering the story. That's interesting. I certainly haven't heard that. I don't know if any of you have, but I heard him say that yesterday, and I looked for the story and I just couldn't find it. Man killed by protesters. That's what I'm going to say. By protesters. Okay, Testors in Portland, Oregon. Okay. And he's supposed to be a religious man, a good man. Identified police as Danielson. Wow. In a shooting, deadly shooting 2 days ago. I don't know if this has happened, I guess, over the weekend. But I hadn't heard anything about it. You know, I look at the news all the time. But they said there was a clash between pro-Trump groups and left-wing protesters as Aaron Danielson of Portland tried to get between the two. Someone fatally shot him Saturday night. The police said that, Danielson died at the scene of a wound in his chest. Wow. Who are these people? Who are these people? Shooting people in the chest, unarmed people. What's going to be said about that? What's going to be said about, they never really talk about the black on black crime. As I say all the time, I'm not afraid of being killed by a police officer. I've had policemen pull guns on me, and that's fine. I've had policemen, do some crazy things. But I'm really afraid of some baby-faced looking black boy pulling up next to me and giving me some gang signs, and I'm not a gangbanger, so I wouldn't know what he was doing, and shooting me as a resort because I'm not in his gang. That's what we need to worry about. That's the reality of this situation. So, for those of you out there who are on the fence about Black Lives Matter, for those of you who are on the fence about President Trump, I say, hey, get real. Because if it weren't for Donald Trump, we would probably have total anarchy. Then Kamala Harris would have to come out with her true feelings about criminals and crime and step up and be the hellified prosecutor she was as in the DA's office and as Attorney General of California. She was a tough cookie when it came to crime until she decided to run for office, and then she backed off of the tough cookie stance and started talking about, the poor criminal. We have to give them a second chance. And I go, what about the guy who hadn't got the first chance? And people go, because he hasn't showed out, he hasn't acted out, he hasn't threatened society. So society doesn't feel it has to assist or help him in any way, as it does with a criminal who's not only acted out, but 9 times out of 10 has hurt someone. Someone that someone loved and adored. Okay. Let me segue for a second to this story, and it's a story about no, I'm not gonna do is Kamala Harris black again? No, I think we've settled that. No, she's not a black American. She is, though, a woman of color. Ta-da. Let's see here. These brothers, justice or else. Oh, that was Farrakhan. I wonder what my guy over at the AT&T store, I wonder what he'd have to say about this video. This is a video that I saw earlier today.
Ready? We on live. We on live. All right. Since y'all know anything about politics, man, or y'all just be listening to like the shit be happening on like Facebook and YouTube and all that other shit.
Same shit everybody listening to. It's coronavirus, so you got nothing to what's going on.
So what y'all know about Donald Trump? You know shit about Donald Trump?
I don't think you feel me? Yeah, I ain't worried about that nigga. He's a billionaire, trillionaire. Who worry about him? We worry about the man that's doing him.
Okay, y'all know about.
He's giving out this money for though. He's giving out this money. That's I respect the money.
You respect the money?
I respect the money, but he's doing it for a reason though.
What reason Donald Trump give?
They want us to vote for him again.
Would you vote for him for the money?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Why would would you vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Donald Trump.
Because
I don't know shit about Joe Biden.
You know
Donald giving out 2013 man. I vote for Trump because Trump gonna fuck up the world and keep fucking it up. So we gonna keep him in the office and then ain't let the wrong fans.
How Donald Trump fucking up the world?
Really, we're in a debt though. We're in a debt right now. Situation we're in a debt. They say we're in debt for billions. But how you giving out millions like you just giving out money though?
But he got to give it out because the Democrats trying to take the money, so he's trying to get the money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then why we in a debt though?
No, we gonna stay in the debt, my nigga. The world is never gonna be out of debt. We was trillions in debt before Donald Trump even got in office. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna stay in debt. You know what I'm saying? That's how the world works. They're gonna stay in debt. If the bankers if we ain't in debt, the bankers gonna put us in debt. So that ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But Donald Trump, you ever heard of late term abortions? What's the latest you think of a female can get an abortion?
Right now, what's going on right now? I feel like it ain't doing abortion. No, they even doing that, right? I know, because I got one. California.
They not doing abortion no more?
Not in California. But California bitch ain't they law. They don't do abortion unless you paying for it.
Oh, you got to pay for it?
You got to pay for it. California ain't doing that.
They're not using rubber, huh? Hey, you said the latest you can have an abortion is 4 months?
For all my blacks, people be out here dropping babies like Winston.
Hey,
we need some more seeds of us out here.
Man.
In 2009 wasn't that many of them. Now 2020, it's a lot of them. Where like said, stop having one kid.
The daddy's got to step up.
Hey, listen.
Black daddy's got to step up.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna bring up my boy Pedro. I see Pedro out there, Miami, Florida. Hey, Pedro, what's up? Pedro? Hello? Pedro. Hey, man. South Carolina. Pedro, South Carolina. Who is this? Pedro. Man, let me hit him on this. I tell you, he called me. He's out there. I see him. He's like, Charles, hey, I'm out here. And I'm like, dude, I got you. And you ain't picking up the phone. I'm going to hit him real quick. Watch. Man, well, pick up the phone. Come on the phone. We ain't disconnected. You there? All right, talk to your thing here. Hello. Pedro. Let me see here. I only got one. One connect. Let me call back, man. I'm here. Yeah. Is Kamala Harris black or not? Hey, hell no. Was Barack Obama black American? Hell no. His daddy was from Ghana. His mama was a white woman from Kansas. Hell yeah. But I've been saying that for a long time. It's amazing. It's amazing. Hey, Pedro. Hey, man, what's up? How come I can't hear you? Hello? Hello. Let me see here. Yeah, my stuff's all set up on this side. Let's see. Hello. Hello. Hey, man, what's going on? You want to turn up the volume? Let me see here. Hold on one second. Let me see if it's on my side. Hold on. Let me see if it's on my side. No, my volume's all the way up. Yep, my volume's all the way up over here. We need to get your volume up. Oh, here we go. I got it. I got you. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. I got you. All right. We should be good to go now. Pedro. Yo. You there? Hello? Pedro? Yep, you should be there. I got you locked in, baby. Let's see here. Yeah, I got you locked in. Preferences. Go to general devices. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good on my end, Pedro. What's up? Yeah, I'll click him out. He'll click back in. We'll be good. This is gonna be worth hearing. We only got 6 minutes. We got six. These brothers in LA, man, they tickle me. They tickle me. Hey, Pedro, what's up? Man, how come I can't hear you? I cannot hear you. I got everything set up. I cannot hear you. I don't know what the problem is. I got my self all set up all the way over here. Okay. Preferences. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good on my side. Did you turn your volume up? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Hold on. I'm going to do this. I know how to get it. Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message. Hey, hang up, Pedro, and I'm going to call you on my phone. Hang up. Hang up, Pedro. I'm going to call you on my phone. Hurry up. We only got a few minutes. Time's ticking. So the brothers are like, hey, man, we need to hurry up and do this. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah, man, you couldn't hear me?
No, I couldn't hear. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. Yeah.
No, I couldn't hear you at all, man. I had it up. So, hey, we only got a few minutes here. What's going on?
I was thinking about you talking about Rayshard Brooks. The thing with those cops is, they just brutes, man. They're not thinkers. They're just brutes.
Yeah, well, you can be brute.
All he needed to do was leave that man take his nap, or to let his sister come and pick him up.
Yep.
Don't start following that.
Yep.
You smell like alcohol, bull crap.
Yep.
You know what? They're just brutes. They don't know how to think.
Well, no, they do know how to think. I mean, would they see? This is the thing that I don't understand, and this is the thing that pisses me off. They would have let a white guy sleep it off, or they would have, I mean, they wouldn't have taken him in. See, they have no problem with taking black and brown men in and putting them in the system. They try to act like you being part of the criminal justice system. That's how they mess with you. So they keep you out of jobs. They keep your life in turmoil. And you know what?
Leave that man alone.
They needed to leave him alone after they talked to. See, this is the thing that pisses me off. They talked to him for 40 minutes, dude. 40 minutes.
Yeah, but they mess with him until they kill him.
Well,
the guy's running. You know what? The guy decides he wants to run. You know what? Take 3 steps and say, "Shit, I twisted my knee. Let him go." They know where the guy lives.
Right.
They got his car.
Right.
You know what? What the heck do? Mess with the guy till they shoot him.
Well, this is one thing is for sure. the camera. See, what cops should understand that ever since Rodney King and the introduction of cameras into videotaping cops' behavior, the cops cannot go to court and lie. The cops in the Rodney King case, they had written up their police reports, submitted them, and then the video surfaced. The video surfaced after they'd submitted their police reports.
Yeah.
And their police reports were so far different than the actual videotape that when their lawyer made his closing arguments, he said, "What? Don't believe your lying eyes."
Yeah. No, it's incredible. It's incredible the way they've been. And then on top of it, the man had already discharged the taser.
Yeah.
Before he shot him.
Oh yeah.
You can see the wires. That man was no danger to anyone.
No, but he was running, and the cop couldn't catch him. I said these cops need to get in the gym.
He just finished beating their butts, and then he's running. You know what I'm saying? And gross. You know?
Hey, man, he was putting some serious distance between and that cop, and the cop got frustrated, threw his taser down, pulled out a service revolver, and shot the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell? What the hell? How do you just shoot another human being when your life's not in danger?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand these people. I don't understand them. That's why I always say they're not thinkers. They're brutes.
Oh, they think. They think, but they don't think.
They're stupid.
They are. Hey, but man, I hope you enjoyed the piece on Kamala Harris.
Yeah. I've been watching. I've been listening to you every day pretty much this week.
Okay.
Yeah. Tomorrow I go on too. I will listen to you. I'll listen to you some too. Maybe we'll get to talk.
Hey, see ya. Have a good one, folks.